The madness of Attack on Titan continues with chapter 136, and at this point, this is basically a Titan showdown, an all-round Titan showdown with a very unexpected artist of all people. There's a lot of stuff that is going on in this particular chapter, so we need to talk about this. So hello and welcome to Under YZ, my name is Soham and today we are going to talk about Attack on Titan manga chapter 136. But before that, if you are new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel since I do weekly anime and manga related content. Also, this video will contain heavy spoilers from the manga, so you have been warned. With that being said, let's begin the video. Now, just as we saw with the spoilers, the chapter begins with the point of view of the Marleyans and the Eldians who are looking on from the distance at the approaching rumbling, and they are basically feeling helpless that what exactly is going on and how will they even be able to save themselves. Also, they are looking on to Falco, who is currently in his bird titan form, which is basically the Jaws titan. But again, I don't think anyone has seen a flying titan at this point, so everyone is just perplexed as to what exactly is going on here. Then we have the entire conversation with Reiner and Gabby, and Reiner is basically angry at Falco that why did he allow Gabby to come here. Reiner even goes on to ask Falco that did you forget the promise that you made to me that you will keep Gabby safe. But then we get to learn the truth that the ship actually sunk because of Falco's transformation, and Gabby says that they need to repay for their kindness, they have to stop the rumbling. At that point we also get the point of view of Falco, and things are just going to get more and more messy from this particular point. Moreover, this chapter had some pretty interesting character moments and character interactions. Some of them were expected, some of them were not that expected in my opinion. But before proceeding any further, let me just tell you all one particular thing. I am actually a little disappointed with this particular chapter for two major reasons. Now sure, this is a good chapter, it has some really decent art, the story is moving at a very good pace and everything, but there are some problems which I noticed in this particular chapter, which I will address in the later half of this particular video. Now the first thing is in relation to how certain things happen just randomly without any plausible explanations. Had this been any other series, any other typical shonen series, I would have been absolutely alright with it, because hey, the series is actually coming to an end. But because it is Attack on Titan, it irked me a little bit. I will obviously talk about this in the later half of the video when that particular point comes. And secondly, another problem which I had in this particular chapter was rather something very personal. It was because of my own expectations. I was expecting a little more lore and in-depth explanation in this particular chapter. I was expecting a sort of explanation especially in regards to the paths and what exactly was the original devil. That is something which I really want to learn from the starting of the series, but now I really don't think that we are going to get much explanation about it. I know that the explanation can come up in the next couple of chapters, but considering the fact that the series is actually coming to an end in chapter 139, I really don't think that it will be explained to that particular point. I think that mostly it will be left to the reader's interpretations. But moving on, the character interactions here are really good in my opinion, especially the character interaction between Annie and Mikasa. Since the rumbling has started, Mikasa has really gone into her own trance and she's not her own self at this moment because she has lost two of the most important people in her life. She has lost Eren to the founding titan and now she has lost Armin as well. So she is in her whole trance-like state and she is not able to function properly in my opinion. Her facial expressions are really on point here and the expressions are really great. And Isayama has done a really great job with the facial expressions here in my opinion. Moreover, the entire conversation between her and Annie is very good, especially how it is revolving around Armin, and Annie also gives a very great reply here saying that your childhood friends just keep getting kidnapped, don't they? Of course, I will get him back. Next, the group which is present upon Falco's back, that is Reiner, Levi, Mikasa, Annie, Connie, Jean and Gabby make a discussion. They have a plan as to what exactly will they do, how will they proceed with this current situation. They finally come to a decision that the group will eventually split. Reiner and John will try to go towards Eren's neck and try to detonate the bomb which was placed there by Peak, and they will also try to rescue Peak in that particular process. At the same time, the rest of the people will go towards the tail where Armin was actually captured. In my opinion, the dialogues given by Levi here are really great, and how he says that no, we are going to save both of them, we will rescue both of them. This was really great in my opinion. And again, the fake spoilers which are spread on Twitter from the last 1 week or so were really irksome in my opinion. All of them were saying that Levi is gonna die, Levi is gonna die, but there's nothing like that happening in this particular chapter. Let me make that very, very clear. But moving on, there is a very interesting interaction here, something which I really did not expect, and that is the interaction between Gabby and Levi. Gabby basically remembers the moment when she actually sniped out Eren's head and a creepy skeletal looking thing came out of Eren's body and attached with Eren's head. She's remembering that particular thing and she's basically thinking that will that same thing happen once again if they try to get after Eren's neck. Honestly speaking with you all, I do not know the meaning behind this particular thing. Will this be important in the upcoming chapters or is this just a throwback sort of a thing? I really do not know. Is this a foreshadow done by Isayama as to how exactly Eren will be defeated? I really do not know. But moving on, we get a scene from the back and the characters are basically discussing that they will eventually need to take down Eren, otherwise the entire world is going to end. Of course, Mikasa is having a mental breakdown to all of this, which is pretty much expected. But then we switch to the ground and something very interesting is happening here. We see the remaining Marleyan soldiers who are having a couple of cannons left and they are saying that they will try their best till the very end. And at that moment something very interesting happens, and that is the fact that the remaining Eldians come up on these soldiers. And there's a very tense situation which has arrived here and they are basically pointing their guns at each other. The Marleyan says that you are the Eldians, right? Why have you removed the armbands? And at that moment the Eldians have also pointed their guns towards the Marleyan soldiers saying that you have sent us to the front lines time and time again for the sake of the Marleyans after all. So why don't we take the favor back? And basically another fight is about to start between the two factions. I really like this part of the chapter because it's basically trying to show us that peace was never an option. The decisions made by Eren were actually true here because peace is never an option. Marley and LD are once again trying to fight each other even at the door of imminent death. But I'm pretty sure that that is not actually the case here and Isayama is just trying to mislead us at this moment. This has to be the case. I'm 100% sure that they are not going to start another battle just at the face of imminent death. Because there's a very interesting scene here where Secretary Mueller comes into the frame with a loaded pistol and he's aiming at the Eldian soldiers. And the very next panel we get an aerial shot and there are sound effects here basically denoting to gunfire or gunshot. And it's basically implied here that they are fighting once again, but I'm pretty sure that is not the case here and Secretary Mueller has fired in the air as a ceasefire as a peace option. He wants both of the sides to stop because death is very near to them and it would be basically futile to fight each other. And I'm really happy that Isayama added this particular panel because it adds the human emotions to a very higher degree. On one hand, it goes on to show the decisions made by Eren and how it will be impacting the world, and on the other hand, it might go on to show the humanity side of things and how humans can still change even at the face of imminent death. But from here on, the entirety of the chapter is basically a Titan showdown, an absolute Titan showdown. There are various different types of Titans, Titans which we have never seen before, Titans that are also confusing the current group as well. Reiner and everyone else are basically trying to identify that whether this particular Titan is an armored Titan or this Titan is a Warhammer Titan or this Titan is a Jaws Titan. No one is actually able to understand that because there are various different Titans, from Titans looking like entire animals to Titans which are looking like a monstrosity. I am pretty sure that this entire thing will be adapted into a movie and season 4 is definitely going to not be able to adapt the entire thing in just 16 episodes. This entire thing will be probably adapted into a movie. But we'll talk about the anime in a separate video. Moving on, we see that the group finally separates and like I said, Reiner and Jean move to the front and the rest of them move to the back. That is their current plan and that is their current objective. It was obviously very nice to see Reiner and Jean having a tag team sort of a thing, but from here on, my main problem of the chapter starts. Of course, there's some really great art, there's really great action and everything, but the way in which Reiner the armored Titan and Annie the female Titan are able to overwhelm all the other Titans is kind of iffy in my opinion. Yeah, sure, these are not the original Titans, these are basically a copy or an imitations of them, so probably their power is kind of reduced, but it just doesn't make sense in my opinion for these two people, just two people, to overwhelm all these different Titans. We get a couple of shots of Reiner and Annie basically one-shotting Warhammer Titans and armored Titans and everyone, and it's just kind of iffy in my opinion and it doesn't make that much sense, especially in the lore of Attack on Titan. Yeah, sure, this is after all a shonen fight and this is kind of the finale, so we can kind of expect them to have some hacks power-ups, but this was still not implemented that well in my opinion. If there was some explanation given to this that these Titans are basically not that powerful, they are a little depowered than the original selves, then it would have made a lot more sense in my opinion, but then again I'm not complaining, I'm just expressing my opinion here. But the rest of the chapter is really great, the action scenes are really awesome, and best girl peak returns. She is not dead yet. Her character was really great in my opinion here, because she says that she is going to fight again and again for hundreds of times because of the resistance and resilience of the Guard Titan. This was really good stuff, and of course, she is best girl. She is best girl without a shred of doubt. And again, like I said in the starting of this video, this is a total Titan showdown. I really do not need to go panel by panel here because this is an absolute brawl. You have to read this on your own to get a better understanding of what exactly is going on here. But basically, after a lot of shenanigans, we switch to the backside of the things where Annie, Mikasa and the others are trying to get to Armin. They are really having a tough time to identify which exact Titan was Armin carried away in, and they're basically pinpointing to an Okapi-like thing, and that is their main target at this moment. Now here again we get some very interesting dialogues from Levi. Levi is basically remembering about Erwin here, and he's basically remembering all the stuff that Erwin used to say him, and he's remembering that one day, that one final day at Shiganshima where he eventually died. He recalls all those moments, he recalls all those things that they did, and that is actually the reference to the title of this particular chapter as well, Dedicate Your Hearts or Devote Your Hearts. He goes on to ask Erwin that, when you guys devoted yourselves, was it in order to trample the hearts and lives of others? No, that is not the case. Levi goes on, when we dreamed of a world without Titan, I'm pretty sure that was an absurdly innocent and idealized dream. That was the devotion that they actually wanted, that was the devotion that they gave actually. Entrusting everything to the future, and that is the reason why Levi chose Armin that day. And now here we finally get the fight of the female Titan, and Mikasa and Connie are aiding Annie in this particular regard. Again, Annie is able to obliterate a lot of these Titans without any external help, but it's alright because the panels here are really gorgeous and the fight is looking really great. We have this one amazing panel of Annie looking on to Bertolt's Titan, and that was absolutely amazing. But the chapter comes to an end in a very interesting and very fascinating fashion, because we see Armin, who is basically looking onto his own body. Armin is basically screaming, shouting and cursing his own body for not being able to get up, and he's in this sort of a trance-like state, and the background is not clear at this moment. At least initially the background is not clear, and he's pleading with his body to get up. Everyone is going to die. You have to move. You have to move. Please move. You are a piece of trash if you do not move, because everyone is going to die. Everyone is relying on you. You have to move. But at that moment he realizes that no, he's not dead yet. He's not in his afterlife. He's not in some sort of a limbo, but rather here is sand everywhere, and he remembers that he is actually in the paths. This is the dimension of the paths, but he remembers that if he was swallowed by the Titan, then how is he able to remember all of this, and how is he able to view all of this? And that is the moment when he realizes that all the Eldians are connected via the path, and that is the reason why he is able to see all their memories. But at that moment he sees someone very unexpected, and who is he? Guess who is he? He is none other than Zeke, who is building a sand castle. Again, this sand castle is going to be very interesting in my opinion, but let me just continue. Armin goes to Zeke and says that, hello Mr. Zeke, to which Zeke replies that, hello Eren's friend, so Ymir ate you too, and that is the end of this chapter. It's a bit of an anticlimactic ending, but this last couple of panels are really important in my opinion, because this is my prediction. Alright, this is my total prediction. I'm not sure that this is going to be the 100% case, but I'm making a theory that Zeke is the person, or rather Zeke is the artist who is creating all these fake Titans. He's the reason why all these prior Titans are appearing randomly out of nowhere, and Ymir is basically forcing him to make these Titans, make these prior Titans in order to fight the remaining soldiers. If Armin is able to convince Zeke to come out of the paths, then all these Titans are going to stop appearing, and thus the final battle will start between Eren and the Resistance. This is really interesting in my opinion. I'm probably going to make a separate theory video on this particular matter. But this is it for chapter 136. What do you guys think about all of this? Please mention your thoughts in the comment section below. So that's it for today guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more. This is Wonder Wisey, and I'll see you soon on the next video.